I was a young, I was like in early 20s. And so one day I wore my hair out, right? Because I was like, man, my curls are like actually working with me. This is awesome. And I had big curly hair and I came to work and I was feeling really confident. I had my suit on, big
Man, I love
hair.
this image.
Yes. And I sat down and I got there first because I always got there early. And I'm working, and then my boss comes in. She looks at me, greets me, whatever. And I'm like, hey, good morning. And she goes to her office. And then, like an hour later, she calls me into her office. And she says to me, I'm going to need you to put your hair in a bun. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, it's not appropriate. Like, your hair is not professional. It is not appropriate. And she pulls out a brush, ponytail holders, and like bobby pins. And she's like, go to the bathroom, fix your hair, and then come back. And I did.
Yeah, that's such bullshit. I'm sorry that you
And
had to, or that you felt like you had to.
and I did. And at that time, like, I walked in on a high, but then by mid morning, I felt so self conscious. And I felt like I'd done something so wrong because I was working so hard to like be taken seriously and all these things. And I It's I never wore my hair out at work ever again, even to this day, like
Yeah,
curly, ever. And, you know, fast forward in time now, as I've done a lot of work on myself, and as you know, I speak, I do all these things. I've kind of revisited that, and I talk a lot about confidence in the workplace, women in leadership, and how it is our responsibility to open doors for others. But I won't say that I lost respect for her, but I've come to kind of feel sad for her because she came up at a time where that's what you have to do,
yeah,
right? And I
yeah.
think she had really great intentions, but not realizing that she was actually just kind of continuing to carry on this, like you said, bullshit
Yeah.
perception that, you know, professionalism in the workplace looks a specific way,
It's white
especially as
supremacy is what
right,
this is,
right,
but that's
right,
not
as
what we thought about in the early 2000s.
exactly, exactly. And so it took me a very long time. Like, I was really, I don't even know what I felt. I felt a lot of shame because I
Yeah, you
felt like
just felt wrong.
I did something wrong, and so years later, what I won't say that I lost respect for her. What I will say is I quietly allowed her to step off of the pedestal that I'd had her on for a very, very long time.
Yeah,
And it shifted the dynamic between us. Not immediately, I'm talking like a decade later, because I'd actually kept her in my life for a very long time. But I noticed that every single interaction was really her in a very supportive way trying to tell me, like, you gotta calm it down a
yeah.
little bit if you want to be taken
Turn your
seriously.
daddy down.
Like, turn it down if you want to excel, if you want to get into the C suite. You gotta bring that down a little, a few notches. So that's the story. Like I said, it wasn't
Yeah,
necessarily I lost respect, but I felt bad for her, but I allowed her to step down from
yeah,
that pedestal because I'd had her there. I mean, she was the
yeah,
image in my mind of what success looked like as a woman.
yeah.
So that's my story.
Yeah.